Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm the host Sean, and I have a guest with me today, Dave Scher. How you doing, Dave?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it, Dave. Thanks for taking the time and coming out and spending the afternoon with me, brother.
My pleasure.
So, Dave, you've been in a few bands now. You've been playing with Fastball for a few years, I think, and you've been playing with Eric Johnson Band and hanging out with EJ, right?
Yeah,
And you got your great solo career, which I'm gonna put up here on the screen for everybody to check out. I love all the albums.
thank
Good
you.
stuff. Yeah, all solo work. You don't do too much like covering any other people's songs or old blues songs or anything like that on your albums, do you? I think they're all original, aren't they?
On my albums, yeah, it's all
Hmm.
on. Want to
Yeah, it
say,
seemed like it was original stuff,
okay.
and it's really cool, man.
Mm, I appreciate it. Yeah, that's the stuff that I like to release, and when I do a live show, I throw tons of covers in, and I'll likely rearrange them to where they're unrecognizable until I start singing.
I love it. So, Dave, what's the best place to get a hold of you if somebody wanted to reach out to you? Would it be through Instagram or would it be through like an email and through your website?
Yeah, I mean, uh, my website is near completion, but it still works when you click on, I don't know if it says book now or booking or something. And that'll go straight to my email. But best place really is DMs on Instagram, you
That's
know.
how we got a hold of each other, didn't we?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Instagram. So I'll post that right here for everybody to see, and they can check it out and find some of your videos. And your YouTube seems to be lagging a little bit, right? I know you got some really cool videos from your solo album. You're wearing that blue suit, and
Yeah.
it's really cool. So
Yeah.
your YouTube's maybe a little bit behind compared to what you're doing right now. Is that true?
I've only put like a couple of things up that have been recorded with not a phone and multi-tracked and mixed by someone and put an actual like, polished piece of content together. I've got, I don't know, one or two items. But and then also stuff were just like fans of mine with their phones. And I got the footage and I was like, I'm throwing that up. But I haven't tackled YouTube, but that's in the cards.
You got Instagram going though, so you got a lot of cool videos on Instagram. The Fastball band, you got some cool stuff there, man.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
love that.
A lot of non-guitar stuff too. There's a lot of me playing drums and putting ground lifts, two-prong ground lifts on three-prong power cables just to make people angry.
I love it. So if they're looking for good guitar work, they just need to scroll through a little bit till they see, or just go to the fastball stuff because I think the fastball band, you've got a lot of guitar work going on with that one, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And any of my, I guess I can't remember off the top of my head, but I feel like a lot of the thumbnails in my videos have a guitar in them, me playing. So you can check
I
them
like
out.
the one where you zoom in like you're playing and it zooms into like your hole where you see the dog. Like there's
Yeah.
like the picture of the dog in there. I'll have to
Right.
put that one up here in the video.
Was
That's cool.
totally an accident. That was just like I'm gonna film my right hand doing some finger picking stuff, and hopefully Lola, one of my two dogs, will be in frame. Because dogs and guitars, what better content is that than that?
I
And then
love it.
when I watched it back, I'm like, oh man, the angle. I can just see her nose right through my fingers. So
It's
I'm gonna put a little slow zoom on that.
I love it. So Dave, tell everybody where you're coming from, man.
I am from Austin, Texas. I was born here. That's where I currently am too. I was born here and raised here. Um, and I finished high school in Dallas at an arts magnet high school, and that was the that high school was the whole reason why I was able to be able to go to Berklee after that for college. Um, that high school gained me some opportunities to be awarded scholarship to go. I got some scholarship to go to Berklee before I was accepted in the school. Sometimes they'll do it that way, you know. And it was an arts magnet school. It's called Booker T. Washington, HSPBA. There's no sports, you know. It's great. It's my kind of people. I went from uh, a, a a high school in Austin that was about 1,500 folks per graduating class to in Dallas, all four grades, the entire high school made up of 730 kids.
I love it.
Yeah, it was great.
So, did you pick up guitar when you were like a young kid, or did you play piano first? What
Yeah,
instrument did you
I
try
started
first when you
on
were a kid?
piano. I did start on piano because that was, you know, when I was growing up, that was still a thing that you did in the family. You know, families bought a piano and the kids took lessons and they didn't take lessons for the sake of being a musician later. They took it for a a way of growing up, you know,
Yeah,
something
it's kind of like
an
something to
improvement.
be well-rounded, right? You learn how to throw a football, you play a piano,
Yep.
learn how to write, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah, and I still play piano. I play a lot of piano these days, but I did kind of forget everything that I learned as a 7-year old, you know, except how to read. I learned how to read music uh, from piano lessons, and I think I remembered chopsticks and the beginning of Fury Release.
For release, is that it?
I don't know how you say it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I love it.
but then I kind of relearned once I got into Ray Charles and stuff like that. But I kind of got away from piano when I discovered guitar.
Was there a particular reason you discovered guitar, or was it just something that you picked, like physically picked up, or was there somebody you heard?
I always thought it was cool. I always thought guitar was cool. And then one night um, on live TV I was watching Austin City Limits, and they just played the taping of Stevie Ray. Um, the It was like I can't remember if it was two songs or three songs from 82 or 83 where he's wearing the blue kimono, and then it just cuts to 89 when he's clean and sober, and I think it's like four songs, you know. The whole thing started off with Texas Flood, and then Pride and Joy, and then I don't know what the third song was, but yeah, I do remember that being an extraordinarily pivotal moment of like, oh, this is not just like an instrument that Bob Dylan held, you know, in his arms while he sang. Like you can do stuff, really, really cool sounds can come out of this instrument.
Was
Uh,
Stevie Ray Vaughan like playing out around there then? I mean, I know he was international back then. Well,
yeah,
actually, you were. Let me preface this real quick. You were probably watching that after he passed away, right?
that's right.
That's right. Sorry. So I'm thinking of my age group. We were seeing him come up, and he was
Yeah,
touring. So and being from Austin, of course, we all hear Stevie Ray Vaughan was an influential person in Austin, along with Eric
yeah,
Johnson. But so yeah, so you were already down the timeline a little bit. He'd already passed on, and then you're watching this on Austin City Limits. Okay,
right.
gotcha.
Yeah, Stevie died, and I was 4 years old, and I discovered him when I was 8, I think.
A few years passed. So was Jimmie Vaughan ever in the picture for you? Because I've seen him live a few times.
Yeah, yeah. I met him when I was 12, I think, something like that. And I had the great fortune of having him come over to the house and just through mutual friends, um, and because he'd heard about a kid guitar player that was, way into his brother, but he I wanted to meet him, and
Wow.
I guess he wanted to meet me, and that was pretty cool. It was way cool.
He seems like a cool cat, man. Every time I've seen him on stage live and talking to the audience, I mean, Jimmie, was he wearing a suit even when he came over?
No, he looked like a greaser.
He looked like a greaser. I
He was
love it, man.
wearing a white tee,
Oh,
jeans, and they were rolled up a couple of notches over his cowboy boots.
sick.
His hair looked, like it was just uh, dried hard from gel, you know.
That's crazy cool, man. How cool is that? You got to meet Jimmie, man.
Yeah, man, that was way cool.
Wow, that's so cool. So back to Berklee then. So you head off to Berklee out of Texas, and so how'd that feel? Did you feel like a fish out of water up in Boston? Boston?
Yeah, I guess culturally a little
Yeah.
bit, but settled in nicely with the again, just like high school, like-minded, like-minded people, and met some really special folks and made really nice friendships that are still flourishing today. And some people from that I went to school with in Berkeley moved down to Austin, and we're still playing gigs together. Pretty
That's
cool.
crazy cool, man. So
Mhm.
people out there watching the show, or some of them are like in the UK and they hear about stories of cowboys and Indians and Texas and all that. But I've
Mhm.
been through Austin a lot, and Austin is really kicking, man. It is a progressive kind of Texas
Yeah,
city in my opinion,
the
and music
Texas,
scene's big.
the least Texan city
Yeah,
in Texas, and it happens to be the capital. Pretty cool.
that is kind of cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so when you're out there playing, you played over, I guess, in Boston, right? New York City, probably, maybe Connecticut or something. You're just like playing out, right, in Berkeley.
Yeah. Yeah. I I wasn't a fantastic student. I never was growing up. Um, but I did, you know, uh, just kind of get immersed in the Boston scene, and I started gigging sort of immediately, you know, and outside of school, and played with a bunch of cover bands, wedding bands and stuff, and a couple of original artists, but mainly the cover situation because I kind of wanted to get into the trenches of uh it was kind of I was kind of intrigued by um older folks there that would be in the cover band scene, and they'd be like, you don't want to get stuck here, man. The money's good and that's what makes you stay, and then you never get out. And I was kind of like, oh, I bet I could. Let's see. And I was there for a while, and I'm still here actually. But I mean, doing other stuff too, but uh
What kind
getting
of music were you kind of playing out a lot? Was it a mix of like jazz, rock, blues, fusion, 80s? I mean, what were you doing?
top
Like
40.
classic rock,
Yeah,
top 40.
classic rock, country,
Interesting.
um, funk and soul, and it was a lot of fun. And I was really impressionable, so I was anything but jaded.
So let's fast forward a little bit. So you left like the New York City, Boston, all that, and you get back out to Austin, right? Is that just where you headed next then, kind of after that?
Yep.
So
Uh,
who were the guys like when you came back to Austin? Like who were you rubbing elbows with? Like who are the big cats out there?
Um, it's kind of this, I mean, as far as an older generation, it's kind of the same guys.
Hmm.
Eric was still a bit of a, he's still and always has been a bit of a top dog, you know. But I mean, David Grissom,
Oh yeah, there you
that's
go.
he's so accessible because he plays a free show every Tuesday, happy hour at the Saxon Pub. So the timing is great, the price is right, and the venue is great.
Wow.
And and he and I sometimes share band members. So he's got a fella that plays drums with him who is on the road a lot with a new artist named Ty Myers, named Michael Davila. And Michael plays drums with me a lot. And uh, so we, Grissom and I will kind of, sometimes he can't make his residency, and the Saxon will have me fill in, which is great for Michael because he doesn't lose a gig.
You
You
know.
know, there are some young cats there. I mean,
Oh,
Austin is so progressive and such a desirable place to move to that since I moved back home in the winter of '09, it's been where's my math? 16 years. Um, so many people have moved in. I mean, there's so many great guitar players here that are, early to late 20s.
but you've got your thing. So let's talk about your thing for a minute. Let's talk about some gears.
Yeah.
We're talking gear now. So, what was some of your favorite style guitars back in Berklee, and then coming back into Austin? Did you always play Strats? Was that kind of your go-to, or did you kind of switch into them coming to Austin? What was the kind of gear and guitars you were playing back in the day?
I've always played Strats from the beginning. I've going to Berkeley and being, an impressionable music student. I got an arch top and because, I was like, I want to play jazz and I want to at least learn how. And now I can say that I know how to play jazz. I know all the steps to play jazz. I know the instructions of how to play jazz, but I can't really speak it like I can blues or soul or rock. But it's always been a Strat. Uh, I've kind of more recently in my life gotten into tellies because it's another solid body fender that can be lightweight. And and I do play a lot of country. Um, and I have a Strat just over there.
You
Not
want
right
to
there.
grab it? What do you got?
That I got I picked it up from a music store here in Austin. It was on consignment from my old guitar teacher. So I know this Strat really well. And then when I went back, it was like home. I bought it when I was home for the summer break or something. And then I took it with me back to Boston and did a crap ton of mods to it. It's just hilarious and awful. And but I can show you. In
Yeah,
fact,
man, bring it out.
so this thing's pretty hilarious. This is a 91 Ultra with more knobs, lots,
Wow.
lots of switches.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the Jeff Beck with with the lace and the humbucker bridge. And the humbucker does have a three-way uh tap, series and parallel, I
Hold it
believe.
up a little bit more, Dave. Let me see it more towards the camera. There you go. Okay,
Yeah.
that was cool.
Uh, and I need to get a cover for that, but five-way and then a three-way tap
Oh,
with
cool.
series and parallel.
Yeah.
And, I added three more knobs, two more switches,
Wow.
and drilled into the body and made this 13 pin MIDI pickup, which I replaced the saddles with uh Graphtec
Mm-hmm.
Ghost pickups. No one knows how to say this. Piezo. It's six individual piezo pickups
Wow.
and six individual MIDI pickups.
Whoa.
There's a pair of 9-volt batteries in here, both for the acoustic piezo preamp
Mm-hmm.
and for the sort of preamp for the MIDI goes to 13 pen. And it's got let's see if I remember. Oh yeah, the down by the cutaway is the piezo volume, and it's a push push, not a push pull, or just like this mid dark boost. This switch right here is either acoustic, electric, or in the middle it engages this knob, which is a blend.
Wow.
That's MIDI volume and a momentary up, down, like momentary scrolling up and scrolling down of a motif or something like that, or a Roland Phantom or something like that.
Dave, this is incredible, man.
Pretty wild.
This is incredible.
I used all this stuff not once. Pretty sure. Uh,
Dave, there's one thing you are very honest, man. I love it. I love the
yeah,
honesty.
yeah. It's sometimes it's too fault. But, the blend knob was a really cool concept with me and a buddy uh, who's no longer with us. He was at Berklee and he started a guitar company called Equilibrium Guitars. His name was Dave Cohen, and he was the coolest dude, nicest guy, metalhead, and great player, and brilliant. And I told him I wanted the jack to be stereo. One side would be the lace, go to an amp, and the other side you use a Y cable. The other side would be the piezo, and it would go to a DI box or a AER acoustic amp or something like that. Blend knob, turn it all the way, it's electric. Turn it all the way the other way, it's acoustic. There's one of those, what do you call it? Notches in the middle where you can feel.
Kind of
So,
catches.
yeah, catches.
Mhm.
So you turn it all the way, it's electric. When you turn it down, the acoustic starts coming up
Oh
and the
man.
electric stays. And then you hit the
Jeez.
notch. Once you go past the notch, the electric starts going down, but the acoustic is no longer getting louder because it's already at 100%.
This is like a sessions guitar, when they have to like switch sounds, like I'm thinking more acoustic right now. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
thinking more
basically
electric, Dave. Okay.
it's like two faders rather than
Right.
most blend knobs would be like a pan
Mm-hmm.
knob on the mixer. It'd be like all
Yep.
left. And as soon as you start going right, the left immediately starts getting quieter. So it's either 70-30, 60-40.
Mm-hmm.
This way you're going to two different places. So at the notch in the middle, it's 100, which you can,
That's pretty darn. I see. I know what you're saying then. So they come up in the middle,
right,
and then they divert as you change it, But
right.
in the middle is it's yeah. Instead of it panning, like you're saying,
Yeah, it's like
instead of
it's
it
like
panning.
two
Yeah.
faders almost.
Wow, that's really now. What kind of neck is on it? Looks like rosewood or something. And
Is ebony.
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it did look dark in the light. Yeah, so
No,
ebony.
it's
Mm-hmm.
got that roller nut on there.
Mm.
Um, but
Mm-hmm.
this belonged to and this, how do you pronounce it? Spurzle locking
Yeah,
too.
Spurs of locking. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
I like the paint job too, man. It's got a cool paint job on it.
cool. And it's
Yeah.
the micro tilt thing that Ultras had in the 90s.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, man.
so
That is really neat.
and it's really like I never play it. I kind of want to get a new pick guard and get rid of all that crap.
Why, man? You got to
Put,
keep it, Dave. You
put
got to
some kind
keep
of like
that,
button
man.
on there.
It's almost like you and Rob Keeley got together or did something there.
Yeah.
It's like it was like, what does this have? Tremolo on it and a rotary on the other blend, and
Exactly.
I love it. Hey Keeley, if he's watching, which he's gonna watch this, I know he will. I'm like, all right, Keeley, we're calling you out, man. We're gonna do a Keeley Dave Scher
Yeah,
guitar.
that'd be fun. Yeah,
That'd be that'd be
he came
killer.
out to the Eric show and I guess it was okay. I guess it was OKC.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out in OKC. We're about an hour and 20 minutes apart. Are you more of a vintage guitar guy? If you were to go buy a guitar right now, we're going pretend we're going to Guitar House of Tulsa, plug for Drew in.
Hmm.
right? If we're heading in there right now, you're in town, you and I, we're heading in there, go say hi to Drew, right? Would you gravitate naturally towards some of the vintage he has up there, some true 69, 70s, whatever strats, or would you kind of gravitate towards a new strat, a brand new one, like a custom shop or something?
If I'm going to Tulsa House of Guitars, then I'm looking vintage.
Vintage. So you'd go towards the vintage. Now, would you stay away from the CBS era? Would you go the pre-CBS? Would you, or you just not care about like the '70s versions compared to the '60s?
What was CBS? Like 65, 60?
Yeah, a little later than that into '70. Yeah.
Was it? Okay, yeah. So I mean, if it's like late 60s, back when Fender amps were still black-faced, right?
Hmm.
Drip edge stuff in 68, I'd look for that kind of thing. I mean, I'd look for lightweight, you know. Um, that's not because of sound, it's just because of my back. I really think that the sound, I've played some heavy boat anchor guitars that sound phenomenal and they're loud acoustically. Um, but I think that just has mostly to do with like the neck joint, how they're connected and how solid that connection is, you know. Um, so I would gravitate towards vintage, and you're always gonna you're always gonna find maybe two instruments that are like very, very similar, close years and wildly different instruments. Not specs wise, just having gone through decades wise, you know, mojo wise, you know.
So are you looking for like a flatter fretboard? Are you looking for maple compared to rosewood? What kind of like what grabs your attention, Dave? Because I noticed you've been playing a maple. I think you might have the white strap over there. If you got
Yeah,
that, pull that out.
this is kind of my main guy.
Yeah. So you
And
like maple more, or do you gravitate towards the maple more?
I don't know. I certainly did when I was younger. I liked maple more. Um, but I love me a good rosewood fretboard, and I'll look for that. I really will. I'll I guess if I was looking for a modern guitar, I I know I could find a good one at Tulsa House of Guitars. I just feel like that's where, if you're going to look for something boring like that, no, I'm just kidding. Then
I
the,
love
the
it.
options are just big,
Yeah.
or um, there's lots of places to find a good quality new instrument, I think. Uh,
I hear you. I know what you're saying. Like you're going to a place like Drew's because he knows how to pick them. He knows how to find the stuff. I mean, he's getting stuff for Tom Bukovac and all them, and
mhm.
a lot of the stuff he has there is it's like that Strat over the shoulder I got, custom Strat. I just saw it. I didn't want to touch it because I knew if I touched it, I'm gonna end up buying it, and I did. It's a '59 reissue.
Wow.
And but the point is do you like when you're looking at these cool ones that he picks out, do you like the classic wiring, like the three-way switch, or do you like more of the modern wiring on a vintage with a five-way
I
switch?
like halfway. That's what I'm used to, and I like using. I use the out of phase positions so much, and I know you.
Really?
Yeah, I know you can get to them on a three-way,
Mm-hmm.
but I like my life to be a little easier, to not have to just search for it, you know.
Right. Heat of
But
battle.
yeah, I mean, I don't always choose a guitar or a pickup position or strings or a pedal or an amp based off of what I want to hear. I do it, they're all tools. And sometimes this is because I only do this, and I have gone through a time of being more jaded about what I do. Sometimes, I mean, I'll pick an instrument solely based off of the fact that I know where I'm playing, and I know that I'm playing somewhere that either has some fluorescent lights or some neon signs, or like the kitchen isn't really close to the stage and they might share a circuit. So I don't want to bring a humbucker guitar, and I'll stay in position 2 and 4 on the Strat, and most of the noise problems go away. If I want to hit 1, 3, or 5, you know, bridge, middle, or neck positions, then I'll hit them when I'm not playing anything with pauses or rests. You know, if it's just a constant line or phrase, then I'll be able to open up the volume, flip it to the bridge or the neck or the middle, and play until the phrase is over. And then 9 times out of 10, I just quickly roll the volume off and then switch to 2 or 4 to be able to come in on a quiet part and not have any noise. You know, it's just it. Even if maybe I didn't think like through none of that did I think position 2 or 4 is where the song is headed. It's just logistics. It's just being able to. It's just making it work. You know, I don't know how much of that made sense, but I
It
hope.
actually does, Dave. That's great. I love the way you're articulating it because it's coming from experience in the heat of battle,
Mhm.
and you're also not pinning yourself and painting yourself into a corner. What you're saying is you're using it, kind of like a race car driver when they're on the track. You know, are they
Yeah,
always in third gear in order to pass? Or are they going to stay in fourth or fifth? You know, what I mean, whatever it takes. You know, they're feeling out the road, the vibe. You know,
if they're going to pass, it depends where they are on the track. If there's
right?
a banked turn coming up, or if there's a straightaway coming up, you know.
And that's
But
how we are like when you're playing guitar, right? In the heat of battle, like if you
mm,
just know you're gonna boop, you're gonna hit that and you're gonna come back
yeah,
down into the other one and it's not and so talk about the physicality of it. Like you're so used to a strat, so reaching down and switching that is like subconscious to you. But if I was to throw a I don't know, a Les Paul or something at you all of a sudden, do the song, you know, and
yeah,
maybe does it mess with you a little bit because you're not, you know, now you're in the different
yeah,
location for like pick, you know, the stuff.
yeah. I really like the sound of playing lead on the bridge pickup of a Les Paul.
Oh,
The
nice.
volume that volume knob is a little far away. If I want to play solely on the neck, that volume knob is closer. Sometimes I really, especially when I'm playing rhythm, especially like something percussive or rhythmically driving like a funk tune or something, I really like the way the middle position sounds. And then you got 2 volume knobs to deal with, you know? I mean, I do a 335 a lot and lately, a lot more lately. Uh, and I've discovered, even in the last couple of weeks, even, I've discovered little tricks where, okay, I'm playing rhythm in middle position and I've gotten my volume knobs where I want them. Okay, it's time to solo in the bridge position. I'm just going to reach down and take the bridge knob and crank it. I'm not going to crank
Interesting.
it and then switch down. It's a little too much movement, and it is a different sound. Then it's a more pure bridge pickup sound. With the dimed bridge pickup in a middle position, you get that barky bridge tone with there's like this little hint of neck in there that's giving it some
Warmth, maybe.
low end and some
Yeah.
warmth. Yeah. And
Wow, that's really cool, Dave.
maybe that's what I'm going for, but really what it is I need to get to the bridge pickup sound, and I'd like to get out of it when the solo's over. So
Yeah.
I'm the
Yeah.
knob, stay in middle, dime the knob. When the solo's over, I'll just look down at the neck position knob and see what number it's on and see if I can quickly get the bridge knob to that number to
Wow.
equal, you know.
Yeah,
And
level it out.
yeah, and I always miss, but you know, close, and then I'm back up in rhythm. But it's a cool challenge and it's been working out, but it doesn't come nearly as naturally to me as working the controls of a Strat, which are right at my pinky, first of all, and I can work those 3 knobs and that one 5-way like a console. I'm really familiar with where everything's going to go. The only thing is I've been playing a lot more lately for the past like 4 years with a bar because I played a hardtail for the longest time. And when I got this white Strat, got it in 2018, uh, I didn't put the bar in just because I thought, well, if I use the bar, then I'm going to have to hit the tuner again. And I eventually got hooked up with a really good tech that put some tricks together on this setup to make it where I could do all kinds of things. I could dive bomb and come back up and be pretty in tune as long as I maybe pulled it, you know. And then I could do with the bar set up, I could do pedal steel type bends, and the note that I'm not bending does not go flat noticeably, you know. So
So can you hold that one up real quick? You're talking about playing that one right now. So just like so we can see like the action. Oh yeah, yeah, okay.
yeah,
Is
it's
that
this is a custom shop. It's
hmm
not 28,
yeah,
and
right. It's got a
it's
little relicing on it and let me
yeah,
see. Let
it's
me see
called
the bridge real quick. Let me
it's
see.
called a 56 relic.
Yep. Cool, man.
And these are fat 50s.
Yep.
Um,
Nice.
it's a good weight. I've got all five springs.
Oh, you do.
I used to put a little piece of electric tape on the springs,
hmm
and that would get rid of some of the. I would do at gigs at least. I would get rid of some of the ring, and then on recording sessions, depending on the part, sometimes I would take like a piece of paper towel, rip up a piece, and weave it in between the strings here on the headstock, and then it was completely dead.
And you're talking about it being like a chamber. You're talking about that chamber sound that comes from it, that natural reverberation that kind of comes from the back end of it and stuff.
Right.
And people that watch my show, not all of them play guitar, but I've been watching the show, and sometimes they don't understand what we're talking about for a second. But that's if you flip it around for a second, show them there's that chamber area where the sound like resonates kind of through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're talking about deadening that kind of thing.
Strings are basically what is vibrating.
Mm-hmm.
Springs and the tension of the strings past the nut can both make this ringing, and it's like putting tape on a snare drum when you're trying to get a dead sound. I don't leave it there for everything I record, and I certainly don't have a piece of paper towel here at gigs on stage. I used to just have the electric tape on there no matter what all the time, but I kind of learned to just be cool with how much it rings because
So
sometimes it doesn't even come through the amp, you
So
know.
when you're playing with the with the bar, right?
Mhm.
Do you keep it real close the way I'm doing this because I'm talking about where you wind the bar into the groove into the thread. You're threading it in. How tight do you take it down? Do you take it where do you have it swinging pretty good like some guys do, or you get it tight?
I get it to where like I
Yeah,
lightly move it to another position.
that's
It's
pretty
not.
good. Yeah, there's not much. That's not as what I'm talking about. Some guys have it like just swinging away, and they're swinging their hips around, and it comes into their hand. Even and you've got that kind of down pretty good.
Yeah.
Have you bent it a little bit? Did you bend the bar a little bit in order to get it
Uh,
positioned right?
yeah,
Yeah,
but it still doesn't clear the last tone knob.
right. Yep. That's what happens. Yeah.
And
All
then
right.
what?
So you keep it kind of close then. If you're trying to, if you know you're gonna be using a bunch, do you kind of keep it kind of near your palm?
Uh,
You probably got to think about it. Yeah. You probably just don't even think about it.
when I'm gonna use it, yeah, but lots of times
Just
I'll
kind of reach down there.
just right there, and I don't even I don't play with it while it's in my hand, like
Okay.
Jeff Beck would. I
Right.
would play something, let it ring and vibrate. Hardly ever do I use it to really to like make the next note come up to the next note, because Jeff could do that. I, I'm not gonna try.
All right, so now let's talk about we've got some of your songwriting stuff here to talk about. When
Yeah.
you are doing songwriting, are you one of these guys that start with like acoustic playing, kind of write out the play a piano first a little bit, or do you just like start riffing on electric guitar and make the song come out?
Uh, Sometimes, well, all three. I mean,
Mhm.
acoustic, electric, and piano. Um, and uh, I'll, I think if I pick up whatever instrument I pick up, kind of determines what direction I'm going to go in as far as a song. Um, and really, I mean, I'll, I'm trying to write more and more. I've, I've, I think that I think I like what I write, but it does not just come naturally. Like there's some songwriters that just pull out a song and, 40 minutes it's done, or less. I can't even do a day, you know.
Do you think you overthink it, Dave? Do you like kind of overthink? You start with something cool and then maybe you try to do too much with it, maybe, or
It's
what's?
like when you're a guitar player and you're in a band and the band goes into the studio and they're like, "Why don't you sing one?" And you're like, "Sure." And you do. And then let's all listen. And then you listen to yourself, to your voice in a way that you don't normally hear your voice. And it doesn't matter if it's perfectly in tune. It doesn't matter if it's actually good or not. It's you, and you're just like, ugh. And with songwriting, I know so many fantastic songwriters that I'm just like, is this even good? I don't even know if this is good. There's no way this is good. In the end, I think, well, this is pretty good for me. So that's pretty good. And that'll work. But but it definitely is part of why I'm kind of hindered. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, I do because like there's a whole different ball game to being like a sideman utility man, like you are for Eric Johnson, and he
Mhm.
lets you. I saw you live, man. You when you started playing. I was just like, this dude's got some jazz background.
Mhm.
This guy knows what he's doing on that Strat. And then you went over to the keyboard, and I'm like, oh, this dude's playing keys. I'm looking at my buddy Nenad from Serbia. We're sitting there at the show in Tulsa. I'm just like, who is this guy? I'm like, I had to look you up. I'm like, you're definitely well rounded. You've got a lot of depth to your playing, and you're not like stepping on his toes, and he's letting you do some things that maybe people there thought that the show maybe thought Eric was going to do. Then you did it, and I'm
Right.
like, wow, this cat just pulled it off. I'm like,
Mhm.
I was so impressed with it. But that's a different ball game
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
opposed to like Joey Landreth's got like 5 or 6 studio albums on his own. He's got Brothers Landreth albums. He's playing with other people. I mean, like he's one of them kind of guys you're talking about. He sings like Ray Charles and plays slide, and it's like I don't know. He walks over to a guitar and a song falls out.
Right.
And that's a different thing. So, would you say for songwriting, you'd have to discipline yourself and say, I need a deadline to write 5 songs for my next album? I need to write something every day or two would you discipline yourself that way in order to get there?
I definitely am the type of guy that needs deadlines. If I keep everything open-ended, it'll never get done. And I uh, feel like EJ could use the same advice sometimes. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we're both kind of um, to our detriment sometimes, overly particular and perfectionists.
So I
Um,
want to throw out there too, Dave, at this point as you're going there, like we waited years for EJ to put out albums.
oh
Because
yeah,
I was that generation that grew up, with Avia Musicom, however you say it. Another one, however you say that, Avia Musicom.
yeah.
To like tones or something, and you're like, where's EJ? Like, where's this guy? And
Um,
he shows up
I'm
on
that,
a Christopher Cross song or something. And eventually, like, oh, there he is.
yeah,
It's like,
I'm that guy. I've got a studio album from 2012. I then released a live trio album in 2016, and then I finally released a 4-song EP. 4 songs. Gee,
quarters.
quarters. Yeah,
I
I don't know.
love that album, man.
Is that
I
like
love it.
20?
I love 2022 is what it's on Spotify, but
22. Yeah.
hmm
So like I have this. you know, 4 year time period of putting together something. So I'm coming up on that. And actually, I mean, that I really am kind of coming up on releasing stuff because I've been recording and writing, and I'm really happy with results, and I've been making decisions.
So you have some stuff in the mix right now. You got
Yeah.
some songs already laid out, and you're already. Is this what you're saying? You're kind of a big reveal here.
Yeah, I don't know when that's going to be,
All
but
right.
I was hoping to make it like the fall, and here we are. But I would say like things are kind of getting really close to the end of tracking, and I'm gonna start mixing soon.
Are there
Like
different musicians on this one that compared to some of your other stuff, or is it still kind of the same drummers and all that kind of thing?
different musicians. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Quarters was all it's 4 songs. All 4 songs are the same bass player, same drummer, and a couple of songs female vocal, but then I did everything else. This stuff is going to be um this fella I was mentioning earlier. He's plays drums with David Grissom,
Hmm.
Michael Fabula. He's on some recordings. Um, and a guy that's been playing bass live with me for, I don't know, 15 years now, named Jonas Sachs. He's on some recordings. And then there's also some tracks that's it's just me on every instrument, and I've
Cool.
built it. Like, well, I I am all for having a session where you get a band in and you have the ability to record 8 to 12 songs in an 8 hour day. Sometimes it happens. It's rare, but sometimes it happens. That doesn't happen on my songs. On my songs, I spend one day on one song, but by the end of it, the only tracking left to do might be some background vocals
Hmm.
or maybe a lead vocal that I'm happy with. But like the bed is there, everything is laid out, and it's
And I do want to put a plug in for that quarters because I listened to it so much since I saw you
oh man,
playing in Tulsa, man. Backburner, radio. I mean, Abby Jean, and you did a version on another YouTube show. I think you did an acoustic version live. I think it was a guy down there, maybe in Austin, maybe or something.
video.
Yeah, it was like a YouTube video. I seen you. He was interviewing you like this, and you had your acoustic. You did like, oh man, some of this like Abby Jean is just a killer song, man. It just reminds me of something from the '70s I grew up with.
Yeah, thanks,
I
man.
love it. I love it. So I mean, I just want to tell people get out there, listen to it. I'll throw it up here again so that
Yeah,
they can see it on the screen. And your back burner is that the one? I'm trying to remember offhand. Where I've seen you do some live stuff where you throw in the Fleetwood Mac thing.
yeah.
Is that the one where you throw it in there, man? Where you're doing dreams or something? Where is that like F to C or something? It's like 2 chords or something. Like,
I've been doing that live for a while. I mean, I'll do all sorts of quotes, you
so
know,
cool.
and it'll be either a nod to a respectable song
Yeah.
like that, or it'll be just funny, like uh, uh, I don't know what the name of the song is, but I'll quote Rihanna, not the Fleetwood Mac song.
Right, right. I know you. Right, it's true. I didn't think of that Rihanna. Yeah, no.
Um,
You're talking about the artist, right?
yeah, yeah. I forgot the name of the song, but I think maybe it's called like, the only girl in the world or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll quote Pure Imagination,
Awesome.
you know?
What a cool song, man.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh
Great.
man, it's awesome. So, also now as we're moving forward, how did Eric playing with Eric Johnson as his utility man? How did that change your perspective on things moving forward? So, did you learn something from playing with him, and then now you've incorporated that into your playing?
Yeah, first and foremost, I learned patience.
Oh,
It was always a long sound check. And but I mean, it's Eric will everything. His ways are a result of his performance is all about his show is all about his performance and what it's not necessarily about his songs, except for maybe Cliffs of Dover. It's just something as soon as he plays it, people in the audience start cheering. But
All the phones come out.
yeah, but it's more like that classical world, like we were saying earlier. It's more about the performance and how he's executing everything. And most musicians have a sensitivity that in order to give their best performance, they need things to be right. They need, you know, maybe if it's a big stage, maybe they need the band to be closer together. They need their monitor mix to sound like a freaking album, polished album or something, or they need, you know, I don't know. They just, in order to make it work, and, or they need their amps to be running on a certain voltage, a certain amount, and, because of a feel thing, and Eric
Mm-hmm.
talks about like a bounce that certain amps have rather than the sound. He's like, well, the Marshall doesn't sound good when it's plugged into the Furman. We need to get a 100-foot extension cable and plug it into that cold janitor's closet on the other side of backstage because that voltage is lower and the Marshall sounds better or feels better. It's because the Marshall is reacting to his pick attack differently than when it has this efficient line of juice. And and I learned that I might have a bit of that. I never employ it. I mean, I never I never need my monitor mix to be anything special. I need to be able to hear my vocal. If I'm just performing and someone's running sound, then I just need to be able to hear my vocal. I don't need reverb. I don't need it to have high end. I think of monitors as it's exactly what it is. You're just monitoring your pitch and your tone. Um, but I mean, and if I'm doing like I'll do later today, I have a gig where I'm playing and doing sound for my own performance. I won't use a monitor. I'll try and listen from behind the speakers of what's going on. But this is what I've been doing my whole life. It's been a very utilitarian approach to making it work and not worrying about not not allowing my comfort to be a priority. And it's interesting because if you work with an artist where their only priority is their comfort level, you might resent it. You might be like, well, I don't need that. I'm pull myself up by my bootstraps. I can do this without a monitor. And then you work with someone who is kind of like that, but they are Eric. Not only are they a hero of yours, but they handle everything, even if they're uncomfortable and a change needs to be made, they handle everything with such grace. And you're watching them and you're like, man, all they're doing is just making sure they get what they need to give the audience the best version of themselves. And that was a big thing for me to learn because I would be almost proud of how little I needed to make a show work. And now I'm like, I still don't really need, I can be extraordinarily uncomfortable and get through the gig. but But if I just take a little bit more time to make sure that my monitor's right, that my tone is, or I should say because I have always been a stickler about my tone, but say my stage volume is right. Um, just how I physically feel, how physically close I am to the other guys on stage. If I take a little more time with a couple of things like that, I feel like my performance in the end it reaches maximum capacity, because I'm enjoying myself, And sometimes for so long I didn't. And I thought, well, that's okay. I don't need to. I've got a job to do. And that sounds awful. Yeah.
No, no, man, that's so cool, Dave. You're offering a lot of insight, especially for people like me. I grew up in the rock era. Dave, how did you meet EJ? How did that connection come about, man? How'd you get there with Eric?
We'd met here in Austin, both being Austinites and
Hmm.
in the music community. And I'd seen him show up to some shows of mine. We know a lot of the same people. I'm There were a couple of connections.
Hmm.
Uh, one connection that was is the oldest is my dad, who is retired. He used to have a his own air conditioning company, like a little mom and pop air conditioning company, and he sold an air conditioner in I think 91 or 92 to Tommy Taylor, uh, Eric's drummer, and I think Tommy was happy with services he got and products that he just made a referral to. It might have been Eric's late manager, Joe Priesnitz, and then Eric came time to being like, yeah, I need to take a look. I need to take a look at the central air in my recording studio. And so my dad got the job to do that. And Eric, unlike most people, Eric was quite present and wanted things to be done a certain way, which was great because my dad, his business thrived on, just change outs in a residence. Also, they did new installations in new houses when they were still up in framing. But his specialty that nobody else sort of could really offer is that he used to be an architect. So he could do a lot of custom jobs with duct routing and figuring out how to make a room, a certain temperature because it had guitars in it,
Yeah.
or a wine cellar, something like that. Like and he's done some work for a couple of people in Austin that are sort of celebrities. So it he doesn't always he didn't always get to do that. Most people just wanted their system changed out and be done with it.
Right.
But Eric is a very particular person and wanted to be involved in very specific things about each room. And my dad kind of thrived on uh, getting that done.
Go,
And
Dad, go.
yeah, yeah. And I think Eric was pleased. So yeah, and at some point he was like, my son plays guitar.
Yeah, go, Dad, go.
So the first time I met him
Love
really
it.
was at Austin Vintage Guitars. He had walked in and I was looking for a an arch top. I was and I was like, some people are looking for an amp and they're like, maybe I should try out amps with my guitar. Well, I was like, I need to try out all these arch tops with my amp. And my amp was a drip edge, a 68 twin reverb. So, and I had a younger back then, so I carried that sucker into the guitar store and started trying out different things like L5s and 335s and cheap stuff too, like Venturas um, and all through my twin. And Eric frequented that guitar store. He still does. And he heard me playing some jazz. He's a big time jazz fan. And he's a jazz player too. He really is. He's got an incredible sense of harmony, obviously. So uh, the intricacies of jazz theory and jazz harmony kind of, even if he doesn't spend much time on it or get to spend much time performing it, it comes kind of naturally to him. So he was digging what I was playing and we chatted. And then eventually he was like, "Do you want to sell that amp?"
Oh, really?
Which was hilarious.
That's funny.
And I was like, I don't know, maybe." But I eventually hung on to it. Um,
You didn't
I,
sell it to him?
no, I ended up hanging on to it. I think he lowballed me. I can't remember. But I was like 14 or 15 or
Oh
something.
my goodness. So you had met him then. So now a couple years ago, like was there a phone call, message, email or something? Like
Well, then
somebody's yeah.
I had developed my own connection to his camp aside from my dad. It was when I needed photos taken for an album
Hmm.
and graphic design. And someone recommended uh, a really fantastic photographer and designer named Max Crace. And Max is now his current Eric's current manager.
Oh wow.
He's been very close friends with Eric since like 78 or 79. I might be
Hmm.
wrong, even earlier. But he's also used to be a drummer. Uh, or he is a drummer. He used to play drums for Van Wilkes and I think Omar and the Howlers, maybe even. He was a recording engineer. He had a studio. He was just kind of in the scene as a musician and a kind of media curator, I suppose. Uh, and no, has known Eric for a while. And when Eric's manager passed away, Joe Priesnitz, he needed another manager. And even though Max, this photographer I'm talking about, has no experience, I don't think, with managing an artist, the only thing that Eric was looking for was someone he could completely trust.
Wow.
So he picked someone who he'd been longtime friends with, over anything.
Eric Johnson's been around a little bit, so I'm sure it's wise to have somebody that you more trust
Yeah.
than just, some guy that supposedly can do it.
Right.
So that
Exactly.
guy, so that guy made a little connection then maybe when it was time.
Yeah, yeah, because we
Mm-hmm.
had worked together on album artwork
Mm-hmm.
and then we became friends. And then every year for the longest time, Eric would do those Experience Hendrix tours. And
Yes.
he was on one of those tours, and one of his own EJ tours was coming up. And Max was not his acting manager at the time. He was just photographer and friend, was on tour with him, getting shots from the tour and talking about the upcoming EJ run where Eric wanted to do a quartet instead of a trio. He goes, I don't necessarily need to find an amazing keyboard player. That's me, not necessarily an amazing keyboard. I need to find someone that can play keys to the parts of songs that sound bigger than a trio, that can also play guitar, second guitar, so that I can do a bunch of songs on piano. And Max was like, "Well, you ought to try Dave Scher." So
That's
it,
so cool.
and he was like, "Oh yeah." So he already knew me, but
Right.
I think he was like, "Does he play keys?" So that ended up being fun, a
So
fun
when
little
you started playing with them,
accomplishment.
how did you tweak your rig at all? Did you go out and buy anything like new or special just to make sure when you're out there, Johnson, or did you already have everything?
I just I kind of had everything, but I
Hmm.
tweaked how I did it. So for Eric's tour, that was the first time that I really did an A-B rig, like two amps. At no point were they both firing at the same time. It was a clean amp and a dirty amp. And Eric's rig is the same. It's just three. It's clean, dirty rhythm, lead. And the clean
Right.
is two amps.
Right.
It's stereo. And it's kind of, his clean usually was like two twin reverbs, and he would try and mirror them with the controls. And I think it's brilliant what he did, what he's been doing for the past, I don't know, 6 years or so. He's taken two Bandmaster reverbs, drip edge 68 Bandmaster reverb heads, stacking them on top of one another and putting that stack on top of a 412. Takes off the back panel of the 412 and puts a new one on that's open back. It's just like a 2x4. So it's open back like a Fender with two jacks, one jack going to the right column and one jack going to the left column of 12s. So that 412 is now a stereo set of vertical 212s, each with a Bandmaster going to it, split by a TC Electronics chorus pedal.
Oh, wow.
And that's his clean rig instead of using two twins. The only difference is they are in the same cabinet. They're not.
Right.
There's a you could argue that there's a little less separation.
Hmm.
Well, Eric could totally argue that.
Of
Well,
course, that you explained a lot to me. Thanks, because I think that must have been what he had when he was playing Tulsa last year.
yeah, three.
Yeah, because we went up and looked at it. Of course, like all the guitar guys, us guitar nerds, were going up to the stage, before the show, and we're like looking at this and looking at that, and we're like, oh, look at that, I'm like, wow. Did he have any Dumbles at all recently? Did he use any of the Dumbles at all?
No,
I don't think so. Yeah.
Dumble clones. He uses Dumble style amps.
Right.
Like he'll use a two rock for his
Right.
dirty rhythm.
Got the traditional clean amp back here that I'm using, and that's what you're hearing on all these little clips. We've been out for about a week. It's great. I love it. It's got a real sweet, clean tone, and then when I push it, I've been using it with the dirty rhythm. Yeah, it's great. Kudos to Two-Rock for building a great amp. The thing I think that's cool about these amps that I'm into is they're not really copies anymore. You all have created your own thing, So it's a proprietary amp it's not, we all learn from each other, but I think it's cool that y'all have gone off on your thing and done your own deal.
Hmm.
Um, but what was really cool about that, about I guess it was the 2024 tour, maybe, or maybe it was late 23, because it was before G3. It was maybe the last Eric tour that I did. He said, "Man, during the sound check or before you guys get there, I really want to work with Pat, the front of house engineer, on how the rig translates in the PA. So would you mind coming in early and just playing my rig?"
Okay.
I was like, I I told him I was actually going to get lunch. So
I had to let the dog out. I had to
yeah,
go.
you're kind of like me time.
That's not Eric. Oh. Yeah, that's it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is kind of a hard guitar to play. Was it one of those experiences like I always read about in magazines where some producer would get to play through Eddie Van Halen's rig, but they still sound like themselves?
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, yeah, and I don't mean this in a complimentary way
yeah,
to myself, but I am a bit of a chameleon.
great,
If he wants me to play like him, I can, I,
cool,
c- I can play, I can have like Eric's touch or
right,
dynamic. I sure as hell can't play with his like speed or precision, but I can kind of get his vibrato down, and I can get a
cool.
couple of his runs down and where he hits pinch harmonics and stuff
Spread
like that.
triads and all those,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
his little
know
pinch
all the
harmonics, and
clean chords that he plays,
yeah,
so I can kind of give him something to work with as far as sound check. But he's like, you know, he let me take the Millennium Falcon out for,
you're like, you're out there flying around and like,
yeah,
I hope I don't crash this on you, buddy.
yeah.
So like, also playing keyboard, then, the sound that you had for the keyboards when I saw you was kind of interesting to me. So talk about that for just a second. I mean, we're a guitar show, but what were you looking for as far as a keyboard? Were you looking for certain elements on the keyboard, certain
It was
feel,
what
certain
I
vibe?
was looking for. Sometimes it was a pad,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it was a more rhythmic part on a Wurlitzer or a
Mm-hmm.
Rhodes or something, or an organ, and I think I even he wanted me to play a keys like a Wurlitzer solo in Manhattan,
Yes.
and I did, but I mean, just I don't know. He kept allowing it. I wasn't a big fan of it, but
You were.
I'm not really a keyboardist in a solo or soloing kind of way. It's the same way with when I play jazz guitar. Like I understand it, and I could even teach it.
So as you're going through all this and you're learning from him, and there's an expression that I used to say a lot in soccer and working with kids on the streets was you teach what you know, but you mentor who you are.
Hmm.
And I could see, sounds like when you're working with Eric Johnson, like you're just picking up things that are kind of intangible, and now you're kind of fleshing them out as time goes on.
Yeah,
Hindsight's 2020. As I'm asking these questions, you're like, oh yeah, I did learn this and I did learn that, and
right. I never
yeah,
thought about this prior, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Not
It's
really.
kind of cool. So
Yeah.
what about G3 real quick? I thought you were telling me or messaging me on Instagram something about G3. Did you get to do like a solo on like there's a latest recording possibly or something? Weren't you playing with them at all?
Yeah. I was on the G3 tour, and it was really special for me because, Satriani and Vi have been doing G3 tours for years, and the first one was with Eric, and ever since then, and that was the best one. Ever since then, Eric has not done anymore, so they've had a different third person,
Hmm.
sometimes John,
Petrucci, wasn't it? And Kenny Wayne Shepherd and all them guys. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Hmm.
And all sorts. And then so this was like the original G3. You know, he finally agreed to do one more, and I got to be on it. You know, it was amazing.
So
It
when
was-
was that? When was it? And where did you guys do that?
that was 24. That was February of 24. And
Was it like a few shows, or did you do like a whole leg of the tour,
like
or what?
16 or
Wow.
14 shows. It was like 14 shows in 16 days or something like that. And
Jeez.
uh, California, Arizona, Nevada, just kind of that area. Um, but yeah, it was short and dense, you know.
Were you kind of blown away by the whirlwind of it all? Like, just there you are, just in the mix, all these guys, and
Yeah, and what it was, and that I was a part of it, you know. It's something that was a DVD that I completely wore out, you know.
so what
Um,
song did you get to play? And I thought you got into one of the recordings of it or something. I thought maybe which one
I
was it?
he had me solo on a few songs, you
Okay.
know, but only a select few made it onto the album. One of them was the very first song, the opening song. He he does we do a version of Land of a Thousand Dances, and uh, right before his last like cadenza at the end, he gives me, you know, I don't know, 16 bars or something. Um, and it's kind of like got this gospel chord progression to it. And but the lines I was playing were kind of within the vein of Eric. You know, I was trying to be respectful, and he might have wanted me to do my thing. Sometimes my thing is other people's thing, you know. I mean, for the longest time, I listened to Joe Bonamassa. I don't listen to him so much anymore. Um, but I mean, I can personally like, the best way I can put it is that I think he too is a bit of a chameleon. He really pays tribute to every player that has inspired him along the way. I would say more so than having his own sound. Like you hear a Jimmy Vaughan record or a BB King record, and the first note, you know who it is, you
So
know?
true. Robert Cray, all them guys.
Yeah.
You just hear it. Like I hear it from across the room. I'm like, that's Robert Cray.
Oh yeah. You know,
Like that's Keb Mo. I don't know. Whoever. It's,
and when I hear Bonamassa, I'm kind of like, oh, that could be Albert King, or that could be Eric Johnson. That could, you know, it's like everything's kind of he does everybody else's style so well, and he's kind of a chameleon. And I like to pride myself on having a similar skill of being able to mimic other people's sound. I think I have my own, but I didn't think it was necessary to put that in Eric's show. Whenever he gave me, I mean, he had me solo on John Coltrane's impressions, and that I'll stretch out and try and do my thing.
wow. That's really cool. Dave, your style is, I have to concur. Your style is interesting because when I have told other people about you, they're like, well, what does he sound like? I'm like, depends on what context you want to hear him in.
Hmm.
Now, your solo stuff, I'll just shoot people, Spotify
Yeah.
right away. The quarters is my go-to.
Oh,
I
nice.
just send that out to people. Just check them out. Just dig it. Or I'll send out some of your stuff on Instagram real fast to somebody, and
Yeah.
everybody loves it. And I think you're spreading your wings there because it's your solo work. But when you're playing with the video clips of you playing with Eric Johnson that I just used recently for one of my little promos for our show, you're up there on stage with them. I concur with what you're saying. It's a special art and gift to be able to be out there playing with somebody like him and to be able to play with him, but not against him.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because I've watched way too many live guitar stuff. You know, I grew up with MTV Unplugged. I'm that generation, right? So I've watched way too many guests step out on stage with people, and it's almost like they're clashing. I don't, you know, like a Santana, John Mayer, you know, something, you know, whatever the clashing is, you know, whatever it is, and you're like, they don't sound like they're actually like playing together. They're just being themselves on the same song.
Exactly.
And you're out there playing with Eric Johnson, and if you get back out there again, I'm encouraging everybody out there. First off, just go see Dave if he's solo. Who cares? Or whatever band you're in, Fastball or whoever you're helping out. But if you're out there with Eric, I want to encourage people to go catch you, play with him, if you get that chance again, because that is a whole special gifting unto itself to be able to compliment somebody. So I heard, and so did my friend, we heard you playing, and I was just like, I'm like, that dude's tone is slightly different, but it's not clashing with Eric's. And how does that work? It's almost indescribable, because it's not only your skill level, but it's also your giftings of who you are as a person, right?
Yeah, I would say so. You make sure you are aware that it's not about you, and it's not even about Eric. It's about the music, and you kind of have to, in that moment, play the role of a producer. You know, in a way, kind of like, okay, what's the best thing to do here? Not what's the best thing for my career to do.
Right, correct. And you know, this might be a pretty high compliment for you, but when I saw you playing with him, I was thinking of like Dwayne Allman playing with Eric Clapton, you know, like Layla thing or something. I'm just like, I can tell it's Dwayne, but it just fits in the song. It's like, I want to hear it again. Like, so when I saw you play out there, I was so tempted. You were in Tulsa. I was so tempted to follow you guys out to, you know, to Oklahoma City, just to go see you guys catch it out there.
But yeah, I mean, it was that was definitely a moment to stretch. You know, that was a song, that was a tune where he chose to feature the band, you know, and that would be
Right.
far less pre-thought out than any of the other
Perfect.
tunes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Roscoe, was Roscoe, right, playing with you guys then.
Mhm.
He was just seeing him play with you. I saw him come over to your side a whole bunch. You know, you guys would be like kind of almost like rubbing elbows away, kind of sitting there together, just jamming. You're in the pocket with him.
We're buds, you know. Roscoe's a dear friend, and I'm a big fan, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's a legend, man.
yeah.
Come
I've
on.
I've got so many. I'm so fortunate to be able to be in the city and play with so many legends. I mean, I regularly play. I think uh, there's some video of me playing with a Tulsa House guitar shirt. It's just the way it's shot. You can't see the drummer, but the drummer's Brandon Temple, and Brandon is a fantastic drummer, and he's a close friend. And he was Eric's drummer, you know, on the G3 tour, and in '96.
Wow.
He's going out on Eric's current tour, which is, or you know, starting up in a week or two. And so I encourage that you catch that trio. It's Eric Roscoe and Brandon Temple.
Oh wow, so he's out doing a trio again now.
Yeah.
When I
So,
saw him at the Vanguard here in Tulsa a couple way back, 10 years ago or something, I don't know. He did a lot of piano playing,
mhm,
and it just I don't know. A few people were kind of upset, you know.
sure.
I thought it was amazing. I was just like, come on. I was like, he's going up to a piano. Like, let's go.
It's amazing.
It's like seeing Eddie Van Halen when he started with all his, you know, when Sammy Hagar took over and Eddie started playing keyboards more. You're like, what? Come
Right.
on, man. I'm watching Eric Johnson like pour his heart out into a piano and
Yeah.
sing. I was like, that's incredible. I think it's great. So, all right. So, Dave, real quick here. Here's some quick questions for you. Ready for these, man?
Think so.
All right. What's your favorite guitar pedal?
Of it, like type.
Yeah, well, your favorite. Do you have like a compressor you said, or is there like an overdrive or something that you just absolutely love?
Well, I'm a bass player also, and I
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of bass gigs here in town.
Mm-hmm.
I think predominantly don't play with with pedals, but if I had a bass pedal, it would be compression. Um, and I quite like the Demeter optocompulator.
Cool.
It's a good compressor. Uh, for guitar, my favorite pedal is a tuner.
Yeah, there you go. I thought you were gonna maybe say a volume, but we didn't talk about that earlier. Do you use volume pedals at all, or do you just have one you put in a certain position?
I have one on my board on a board, and I just put it on full toe, and that's it. I mean, and I don't use it. I should because I can put it after a bunch of drives. That way, I can swell with my foot, and the amount of hair on the tone stays constant, as opposed to rolling with your hand, and then not only does the volume swell, but so does the gain. So when you put the volume pedal after most things like your drives, there's that advantage. And I could do that. I haven't done it though. I mean, I just have it on there just in case.
So if I get to see it live and you're doing that, I'll be like, he said that on my show. He's doing it. Look at him go. You heard it first. That guitar's okay. All right. So if you're stranded on Desert Island, come on. You know what I'm gonna ask now. Desert Island. You got 3 albums to pick, man. What are you gonna pick?
Um, Goodness. Wired
Mm-hmm.
by Jeff Beck.
Ooh.
I really like Fuzzy by Oznoy.
Oh, I love Osnoy stuff. Yes.
Mhm.
Killer.
But those two are guitar albums.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I feel like if it's a desert island, I should have something that's just
Something to sing.
yeah, like some good music, good songs, not just shredding.
And Eagles, Beatles. What are you going for?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm a big Rubber Soul fan. That was my
Ooh.
favorite Beatles record.
So you
Um, Maybe it might be what do you call it? Sentimental reasons, but maybe Zeppelin 2
ooh, interesting. Nice.
or same thing, sentimental reasons would
Yeah.
be Animals.
Hmm. Nice.
It-
I love it.
these are albums that I got to intimately listen to and get to know through having a record player in my room and figuring out very young how to make the least noisy track skipping. You know?
You're scratching it all up. Ah! Right? All right. So, Dave, what have you been listening to lately? It's one of the last questions here. Is there something that you've been listening to lately? Like, what's on your playlist right now? If you jump in the car and you're putting on some music, what's something you've been listening to lately?
Jeez. A lot of times I drive in silence. I really do. I listen to the car to see what the next thing that's gonna break is. Uh, or I listen to the songs I'm supposed to learn tomorrow.
Preparatory work.
Maybe a little, maybe before tomorrow. Maybe.
All right, so if we're getting ready to cook a meal, I
But
want
it's
some food. I want some music. What are we gonna
but it's,
play?
yeah, yeah. Oh, I had one. I had one. It was well, okay. I've been listening to this piano player. I think he's Danish. His name's Rikard From, as in he's from Denmark. I think he is, but his last name is From. And Ricard, I believe, is Rikkard. And he's a piano player. And some of the recordings are solo, some of the recordings are trio with a kind of a jazzy drum kit with the open tunings and some cymbals with rivets and an upright bass, but it's not jazz. And it's mostly acoustic piano, and he's overdubbed some B3. He's a good B3 player. But his
Sick.
piano playing, it's such a cool, his recordings are so cool because I don't know if this is true, but it sounds like he recorded a record all on his piano that, I don't know, he grew up playing, or maybe it's just the piano that's been in his house or apartment for the last 2 decades. But you can hear his connection to that particular instrument and how well he executes exactly what he wants to do because he played that piano his whole life or whatever. Maybe he didn't, but it just sounds like he's just got a romantic connection with that particular piano. And they recorded the pedal squeaks, and like the hammers kind of missing. Well, like they kept it
Cool.
all, so it's just so real. And I love,
Organic, huh?
yeah, and I love being a total tweaked out uh dork as far as an engineer and trying to make things sound clean and perfect, and like I love that challenge. But to be able to hear something that sounds believable, you know, it sounds so human. I just love listening to that record, especially this day and age with so much AI crap going on. It's that you listen to that and you're like, that will
Auto
never,
tune.
that will never be able to be replicated.
So,
Who's playing? And the way it's recorded, it's all sounds so human,
I
you know?
love it, man. Organic and just real, man. Brings you right in, buddy. That's
Yeah,
the thing. Like, if you're talking about something like it feels like you're right in the room then with him. He's bringing you in, right?
right.
Said, Dave, I just want to say thank you so much for being on the show. You are an amazing musician and a gem of a person.
Thank
Seriously, man. You
I
are.
was a treat to be on the show. I feel like I'll listen back and be like, I didn't even answer his question. What are you doing? But for the most part, I guess I feel comfortable. I mean, I definitely had fun talking to you. I don't know.
Thanks. I'm just an old guy, so I'm either going to sit and talk about the weather or I'm going to talk about music, So come on, take your pick.
Either one's good with me.
What's that old song? Old men sit and talk about the weather, and old women sit and talk about old men.
I never heard that saying, but I like it.
Yeah, it's a little country song. I think it's a Texan too, man.
Oh,
So, well, everybody get onto Instagram. I'll put everything up here once again, and you'll see Dave's stuff, whether it's through Fastball or solo work or any of the plethora of things he's been attached to, like G3s and Eric Johnsons, and your list just goes on. I mean, I'd be sitting here for a while trying to tell everybody everything that you've been on and you've done. And if you need backline instruments, I heard you even did that or something too, right? I
yeah,
mean,
that's
I
my
mean,
thing. I hate to admit it, but I also do front of house engineering.
oh my gosh. Oh, man. Like you're
I'll,
not busy enough.
yeah, I'll wear all black, put on some shorts, have my little flashlight, and be grumpy. The best. I love it. No,
I love it too, man. Dave, that's awesome. All right, Dave. Well, thanks for being on the show, brother. I super appreciate you, man. And
thank
blessings to you, big guy. And I look forward to seeing you out there.
you too, man. Thank you.